I was like, no, I think some people over there were smoking weed, and it got on me, or I wasn't smoking weed. I drank one beer, and she was, that's it. She got on the phone with him and cussed him out. So the next time I seen him, it worked out. I don't know how it worked out. The stars aligned. It worked out perfect. But I was over watching American Me with a friend. American Me with a friend. And he comes to the door. I don't know he's coming in, but the scene, I don't know if you remember, there was a guy that ratted on somebody, and he gets shanked and thrown over the ledge.
Oh.
Well, the moment he walked in the door, he walked in, seen me, didn't say anything, looked at the TV, seen we were watching, and the rat gets shanked and thrown over the ledge, and he looks straight at me, and he says, snitches get thrown in ditches. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And you're how old?
Yeah, I'm like 13, 14.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
I'm like, oh my God.
He's going to fucking shank me and throw me in a dish. I thought you were my cousin.
Yeah, that's what happens to snitches. You're like, oh, God. But, I idolized him, and I wanted to be just like him, and it kind of rolled into freshman year of high school, where I bought the cholo belt and had my jeans all hiked up, and was just trying to, watch all these movies trying to fit the look.
The plaid shirt split down the middle.
The one button.
You look at my 8th grade freshman year, you look at those pictures, I look like the full persona, like I grew up in L.A. or something. I'm from West Seattle.
Hey, wait.
Everybody in my block was nothing but old people. I didn't grow up in the hood. Like, it wasn't, but I seen this persona, I was like, I want to be that. And so I met some guys in middle school, and they became really close buddies of mine at the time. We say kids in high school usually aren't your friends when you grow up.
Right.
But some more Mexican kids that I seen that they were in that lifestyle, so I was like, I need to put myself around them. I need to, gravitate towards this lifestyle if I want to be this. And so I think it was freshman year of high school, they came to me like, Joe, this guy, he's talking shit. Like, we got to handle this. Are you down? I was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm down. And he was like, okay, after school, we're going to hop in with my older brother, and we're going to go get these guys, and we're going to fuck them up. And I was like, okay. All right, let's do it. I'm down. Let's do it. So they pick me up, and I hop in this minivan. Hop in the minivan. I'm all the way in the back. There's like 6 or 7 of us. And we're supposed to go find these guys, go fuck them up. And I was like, what am I getting myself into? And sure enough, it wasn't too much longer that we've seen them. They were in this little Honda Civic. And we seen them, and we're like, all right, there they go. And so we start chasing them through White Center. And we're going through White Center. You know how busy White Center is.
Yeah.
We go through White Center, and we're going like 60, 70 miles an hour.
They're running from you.
No. They're in a Civic. They're in a Honda Civic.
But they were running.
Yeah, we're
from
chasing
you.
them. Yeah, we're chasing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're chasing them, and I'm like in the back. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna crash. So this is it. This is It can't get any worse than this. Wrong. It got way worse. So we chase them all around, and we end up by like the Highland Park area, and they pull up into their drive onto their lawn, and the 3 guys that were in the car, they all run out. And they all run into the house. At that point, we pull up. All of our guys are hopping out of the van. And I get to the door of the van, because I was on the way back. And they all get out, and I get to the doorway of the van. And I look out. And as crazy as it is, I see a guy I play soccer with come out the house. The guy that they were chasing, the guy that they were after, was the guy who was on my soccer team.
Oh.
That I, had played with for years. I didn't know who they were after. I just said I was down.
Right.
So he comes out the house, but the thing is, he comes out the house with a gun, and other guys come out the house with a gun, and the guy has a Uzi, and they're all pointing at us. And I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
Oh, shit.
I'm like, what is going on? And so everyone's like, get back in the van. And we hop in the van.
So you guys didn't have guns?
No, we didn't have no guns.
Or thank God nobody pulled one out.
Yeah. No, that would have been
Death.
It would have been game over.
Yeah.
But luckily, we all hopped back in the van. We took off, and they're looking back at me, and I have brown skin, but I was white.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're like, hey Joe, are you all right? You look a little under the weather, man. You're all good? I was like, no, just take me back to school. Just take me back to school. And they took me back to school. And after that, I was like, no more. I retired my cholo belt. I was like, no, this is not the life for me. I wish everybody could have, like, young kid that age could have that as their first experience, because they would like
a moment like that. Scares them away.
Scare straight, because you could say all you want. Like, I'm my brother. He's 18 right now, and he's kind of going down the same road, and he's like, I know. You can't tell him any wrong,
right?
Until you have a gun pointed at your face, until you've gone in a high-speed chase, chasing people down, until you've experienced that, you can't really tell a kid. You could pass the knowledge along, you could tell him stories, but you can't let him experience a gun in his face until a gun is in his face, and you're like, no, I don't need this in my life.
A story doesn't create those feelings.
Yeah.
You got to feel that for yourself.
He's also the same person that's looking to join the Marines. And I was like, Brandon, are you sure you want to do that? There's so many other options. I was in the Army. There's a lot of good options in the Army. Navy is where it's at. Air Force gets paid a whole lot more than everybody else. There's other options than the Marines. I'm not saying that Marines aren't great, because they're great. They're the front lines, and they're the badasses on the face of the earth.
100%.
But you do have other options. And I told him, I was like, have you talked to a recruiter about like possibly doing something else or not joining? Is he just pushing you in to just join? And he was like, yeah, he told me. He said to go look at the VA hospital and talk to people that have lost limbs, but I have YouTube, and I could see that on YouTube any day. I was like, dude, it's not the same. It's not the same, dude. You could just...
As going to meet somebody
you don't
with their
wanna,
leg blown off.
If you don't want to see it, you can just press exit on your phone. You go to a VA hospital, you're there, and you experience it, and you feel the emotion coming out of them, the stories that they have, and it's totally different. Like, you can't tell somebody to what it is that you've experienced. They kind of have to experience it themselves. And for me, I was like, when that whole story, I knew that was not the route for me. I love to play soccer. I love to do other things. I was like, no, never again. Well, I'm not down.
It sounds like you looked up to your cousin, but you also wanted to be like part of a group of friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You wanted the community. You wanted people you could count on.
Yeah.
We all want a group of friends. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, my friends in high school, like, they're my friends. I have to hold on to them no matter how shitty they treat me. Like, it's a good thing you had that experience, because, like, what if you got farther and deeper and closer to these people and something like that hadn't happened, but you had slowly progressed and slowly gotten used to, like, making bad decisions, but slowly until the gun comes along, and then it doesn't scare you as much. You're not ghost white, and you're like, I can deal with that, but let's not get in that situation again, but then continue to go down that road. And you start to normalize this bad behavior.
Like being built up to be able to resist that emotion.
Yeah, 100%.
So to end that story, they asked me the next day, we're going to go meet up at E.C. Hughes, which is right next to the high school that I went to. Are you down?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you guessed my answer. No, I'm not down.
No.
I'll never be down. I'm never going to be down again. And so he was like, what? He was confused, and was like, well, we're going to handle this. 20 of our guys are going to meet 20 of their guys at E.C. Hughes, and we're going to squash this. And so what it was them meeting up. So this guy, my buddy in high school, was this huge Mexican dude. Huge. Massive guy. The guy that he was supposed to fight, we called him Little Jorge for a reason. He was tiny. He was the smallest player we had on our team, and they went to E.C. Hughes. I had to walk by E.C. Hughes on my way home, so I got to see, like, a crowd of, like, 40, 50 people. I just kept walking. But it turned up and ended up being, like, my buddy from high school pummeling him in 2 seconds. And then it was hashed out. That was that. But, I mean, I got a lot more out of it than they probably did.
Right.
So.
You started dressing like a white boy then?
Yep. I had a
like
tie,
a normal
tie on
person.
the next day.
But not like a white boy, like a normal contributing member of society.
Yeah.
With no face tattoos.
Yeah, no face tattoos.
Is that discrimination if, like, you don't hire someone because of face tattoos? That's not a protected, is it? No, it's not a protected thing.
Well, if they have a heart on their face, then,
Right.
they're a caring person.
Well, because... I don't know. Or like the teardrop thing. Like you see a ton of people, like even out in public, you'll see the teardrops and you're like, did that person really kill 2, 3, 4 people? Because that's what it's supposed to mean, right? The teardrops is if you kill somebody.
I heard if you do a certain amount of time, you get a teardrop as well. Is what I've heard.
5, 10 years or something.
Yeah, something like
that's
that.
Not something to be proud of.
I know.
Have you never served any time though? No record or anything?
No.
Good.
No. I'm the straight and narrow.
Yeah, luckily me too.
Yeah.
Luckily. Well, when you're young, everybody makes bad decisions and choices where you look back and you're like, damn, I could have gotten in trouble with that, or that could have went a completely different direction.
Yeah.
So
we see a lot of stuff happen at work where, luckily I said I've been at the right place at the right time. I haven't experienced much, but there's people in our line of work that have experienced some pretty brutal stuff. I mean, when I first got there, they were talking about how they witnessed guys that I work with witnessed a guy get hit by a train. The reason they have that fence, they have it blocked off, the train tracks blocked off at Safeco and the stadiums.
Yeah.
Before, you used to be able to walk through there.
Right.
And the reason they did that was there were a bunch of near misses, and somebody got killed there. And my company, they were there, and a guy tried making it across, and got on foot and got smacked by the train, and he got launched towards where our people were. And they went over to him, and they grabbed him and made sure he was all right, and he was, unrecognizable, where he was kind of smashed, but all his damage was internally. And they say he took 2 big breaths, and then he just passed away. So,
wow.
Just,
Traumatic.
Traumatic. Yeah, there's some crazy story. The one that, and I kind of feel a certain way talking about it because, because of the mom. I seen the mom. It happened, I want to say it happened a month ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but on I-5, after getting towards South Center. North, yeah. A kid hopped out of his mom's car. He just had his 19th birthday a week prior. They were driving 60 miles an hour on the freeway, and they had an argument. They had an argument to where I think somewhere along the lines of, she said, "Fine, just get out." And he took it literally, and he hopped out of the vehicle.
No.
Hopped out of the vehicle. She circled around. She came around, circled around, and she pulled. At that point, traffic was stopped because anything that happened on the freeway, traffic comes to a complete stop. We had 3 lanes taken. She came to a complete stop, or all traffic came to a complete stop. State troopers, ambulance were trying to get through, so they had to drive through our closure, and they're zipping through. And I'm letting them all through because I'm in a crash truck. I'm letting them all through, and all of a sudden I see a car without lights on, or a car without any hazard lights or anything. No red, white, and blue or anything like that. So my job is to protect the workers. I cut them off.
The truck?
Well, the car, yeah. So I hop out, and I'm like, what's going on? And this woman hops out. This older woman hops out. She's crying. She's sobbing. She's like, "Oh, my God. My son, he just jumped out of the car. He just jumped out of the car." And I'm like, "You came from back behind us. What are you talking about?" She was like, "I was driving by South Center, and he jumped out of the car. Oh my God, oh Jesus," just crying and sobbing. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I can't let you through, ma'am. And so at that point, another state trooper comes up, and I tell them, okay, this woman's saying that her son hopped out of the car up there, and she circled around back and came back around. She's trying to find her son. And so the state trooper gets on her radio and calls forward, and she's, I see her face. She's like, okay. She talks to me. She's like, she's not going anywhere. She's going to wait. She's waiting right here.
The police officer said that?
Yeah, she's like, she's not going anywhere. She's waiting right here. And so I'm like, I'm curious. I'm like, what's going on? And so I call my boss, who's up by the scene, and I'm asking him,